Hello lawn mowing people. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to buy a lawn mowing business. Now, when you're looking at buying a lawn mowing business, one of the first things you want to think about is the time of year. It's if you're going to buy a lawn mowing business in the spring, it's going to be expensive. If you're going to buy it in the winter, you're going to get it at a better price. The best time to buy a lawn mowing business is possibly about a month before spring hits, because that'll give you a time to buy the business, to adjust and to get ready, and you'll still be able to capitalize on the spring growth. Now, the other another thing to look at is how many businesses are for sale in your area, and this is of course going to have something to do with the time of year as well. So if you go into a place like Trade Me or a site like that, you can go through and you can scroll through the businesses for sale. Now, when you're looking at businesses for sale, you're probably better off looking at the private businesses and not so much the franchises. The franchises aren't always businesses for sale. Sometimes you've got what they call greenfield businesses, which are basically you're buying the name, but you've got to build the business from scratch. So the best idea is to get an idea of the true value of a lawn mowing business is to go to a place like Trade Me, look at the private businesses, and look at what they're charging, and you'll get an idea of what the true market rate is for a private business. So there's different kinds of lawn mowing businesses that you can get. You can get the larger businesses that do things like ride-on work and tractor work and large commercial work. These businesses are a lot more expensive to buy. They're a lot more technical, and you'd probably be, if you were going to buy something like that, you'd really need to get some fairly heavy financial advice there, and not really the kind of business that I deal with. Now, the other businesses are things like a full service business, which is a lawn mowing business, and they also do like tree work and hedges and gardening and stuff like that. And they're quite good. You normally find a business like that, they'll run at about 70-80% lawns, and then the rest of their income will come from things like the tree work and the gardens and the hedges. So now those businesses are normally pretty good. I mean, you've got room to grow there, you've got room to build the business. You've got businesses that are ride on and push mower. Now, if I was going to get a business like that and I'm working in a suburban area, I'd have a look at the amount of work that the ride-on's actually doing, because there could be very little work that it's doing, and it could almost be a redundant piece of machinery depending on what kind of business you're buying. You could buy a business that could be 80% push mower and 20% ride-on. You could buy one the other way around, in which case the machine's worth its money. So have a look at those kind of businesses, and just get an idea of uh, what the balance is of those kinds of jobs. So and lastly, you've got lawns only. Now, with a lawns only business, this is fairly easy to work out, because you just, however many lawns you've got, the size of the lawns, then it's fairly easy to work out what kind of income that they're getting. Now, for your average lawn only business, you're probably looking at for a business that's running full time, they could have anywhere between 80 and 120 lawns, depending on the size of the lawns, depending on how big the sections are in the area. So that's kind of what you'd expect. If you were going to buy a business and you wanted to work your way into it, you probably wouldn't want to buy any more than maybe 30 hours worth of lawns in a week, because that'll give you time to adjust. If you're going to buy a business that's working full time, and like you're going to instantly take over 100 lawns or something like that, then perhaps what you want to do is have somebody help you for the first month, or even if you could get the seller of the business to stick with you for the first 2 or 3 weeks, would be a great help. Now, when you're looking at a business, there's when someone's looking at buying a business and someone's looking at selling a business, there's two different things here. And the guy that wants to sell a business wants to show people his lawns, but he doesn't want to show everybody his lawns. He wants to show his lawns to serious buyers. And the thing is that if he just goes out and shows his lawns to absolutely everybody that's looking, and let's say some of these people start up later on, then they've actually seen the lawns. They know how much is being charged, and that kind of puts a business that you're buying in a weak position. So don't be upset if the guy that's selling is not going to drive around and show you all the lawns. There are ways around this. Now, what I'd suggest is, if I was going to look at buying a lawn mowing business, what I'd probably do is ask the guy whether I could go out and work a day with him, because that's how you're really going to get an idea of how this business works. So, and another thing is that you should be organising the day. Don't let him decide, because if you let the seller decide, what they're going to do is they're going to pick their best day and they're going to take you out on that day. You don't want to see their best day, you want to see an average day. So you pick the day, and then when you go out with them, do a day's worth of work with them. Do at least 4 hours. If you can, do 8 hours. Now, you should have a list of questions that I'll give you in the next video, and these questions you should ask them as you're traveling around. Don't ask them when you're on the job, because what you really want to know is you want to know how much the business turns over in a day. And if you spend a lot of time talking on the job, then you're not going to have a true reflection of how long it takes you to do the lawns. So what you want to do is ask your questions when you're traveling in between lawns, and then when you get to the job, just do the job. Just do it as best as you can, as quick as you can. Get an idea of how the business works. At the end of the day, ask them how much the business turned over that day. And then what you want to do is you want to take that figure, you want to divide it by 2/3. So 2/3 is the figure you want. That's going to tell you how much that you would have earned if you'd gone out there by yourself, you'd been working efficiently, and you'd done that day's worth of work. So, after you've divided the business by 2/3, what you want to do is take 40% off, because 40% is your running costs. The balance is what you would have paid yourself if you'd done that work that day. Now, if you're happy with that, then you can continue investigating this business. If you're not happy with that, then keep on looking. Another thing to ask yourself about the day you worked with him is, how did it feel? Did he feel natural, or did he feel phony? What was the gear like? Was his gear in good condition? Did his gear look like it had been looked after, or was it run down and clapped out? Now, if the gear was in not very good condition, then his business may be the same. So just be aware that the state of someone's gear normally reflects the state of their business. So that could be something to look out for. That could be a red flag. Another thing to ask yourself is did the guy appear organised? Did he seem to have systems in place? Did he seem to know exactly where everything went? Because if they're organised, then you've got a much better chance that you're looking at a good business. If he was completely unorganised and things seem to be random and haphazard, well, then you need to look further at that business. I mean, a business could always be worth buying. But the thing is that if half the lawns are underpaying or badly managed, or you're going to lose them, then truly the business is only worth half what they're asking. So just bear in mind, how does the business look? Does it look like it's being run properly? Does it look like a good business? And if it ticks all these boxes, then you can go ahead and do your due diligence and look a little bit further at the business. And in the next video, I'm going to go through some of the questions that you should be asking when you're looking at these businesses. Okay, I'll catch you in the next video. Happy lawn mowing, people.